Hi, my name's Rham. Welcome to this YouTube channel and welcome to this practice today. We're going to be using chairs, blocks, the wall, blankets to explore stability in asana. What does it mean to feel stability, to ignite stability within change and impermanence? Looking at that today. So gathering all of your stuff, and let's come and meet on the mat in Sukha, sitting on some height, and we'll open class with a light seated meditation. Crossing the ankles, finding Sukhasana. Widening the sit bones back and out to the side several times. And then moving the feet so they're underneath the knees. Our first broadening, creating a stable base through the broadness of the sit bones. Noticing that through the broadness of the sit bones, the spine can find a different lifting lengthness and get taller and longer from that broad, stable base. Closing the eyelids, and with each inhale, keeping that lift, that lengthening of the front trunk of the front spine. Presence in the broadening of the sit bones, the sharpening of the sit bones as they press down in order to better help us really feel the whole length of the front trunk, from the bottom to the top, elongating, lifting, broadening. And then lifting the hands and pressing the palms together in front of the spiritual heart. Allow the eyes to recede backwards, all the way to the back of the skull. And then from the back of the skull, gazing down at the sternum plate, at the seat of the spiritual heart. And opening together with one Om. Inhale. And exhale, release the hands. Gently open the eyelids. And let's continue. Okay, so moving these things out of the way, we're going to come to Tadasana first as an excellent place to explore stability. So coming and standing, making sure that the feet are really lined up. If you need to reach down and spread the toes a little bit with your fingers, do that, so that the spreading of the toes can reflect a really broad ball of the foot. Make the outer skirting of the feet, from the little toes to the outer heels, make them firm, pressing down, kind of like suction cups. And press down between the big toe and the index toe firmly in the ball of the foot in both areas, pressing down there as we lift the arches of the feet up. So already quite a lot to absorb there. Feeling that. Front shoulders rolling back. The front spine lengthening with each inhale from the bottom to the top. And keep feeling the feet. Which parts are you having a tendency to stand on? Is one foot taking more of the weight than the other? Notice how we're trying our very best, but there are movements, oscillations. Keep pressing down into the feet, lifting the thighs up. Feel that firmness rising up the legs. And now try to close the eyes and see what happens. And then open the eyes, a little more wobbly for me, and releasing. So the idea that even in the oscillation of the pose, we'll manage to stand erect, to be sensitive to the oscillations, and to find a stability that rises from them, not despite of them, creating a balance that creates a flexible type of stability. And with the stability, I always feel that there's more equanimity, calmness, even keeledness that arises as we practice, especially with these kind of balancing stability poses. So let's go to Vrikshasana now, another one. We're going to lift the right leg up and place the sole of the right foot against the inner thigh, the heel as high as possible towards the groin. Opening the knee and that right buttock going down. Feeling how we're standing, we're spreading with the hands on the hips. And then inhaling the arms up. Observing the weight on the foot, how we're pressing down. Keep lifting up. See how the lift is helping the stability. Reaching up. And 2. And 1. Coming down. And into Tadasana. Deep inhalation, deep exhalation. Oops, I'm turning a bit. And for the other side now. Placing that foot, trying to open the inner knee back, the left buttock down, and then arms in front, inhaling and lifting up. Exploring our standingness. How are we standing? What is the foot doing? Keep reaching the arms up. And 3, and 2, and 1. Bringing the arms down and releasing to Tadasana. So just taking a little moment to notice how, in trying to hold the balance, our minds really were forced to focus. And this also creates stability. That focus, that concentration, it's a training of the mental muscles, the mental possibilities of our minds. So we're going to continue with that work against the wall, because we're going to experience closing the eyes in that pose. We want to make sure we have a wall behind us, just in case there's some falling. So starting, we don't need the mats for now. In Tadasana. Paying attention to the Tadasana. And now lifting the right leg up. Placing it as high as possible. Pressing the sole of the foot and the inner thigh against each other. A little point that brings more stability. Don't let the left hip hang out to the side. Draw it in, so that the leg feels more and more vertical. And you're finding that middle vertical line, pressing down the leg into the foot. And now bring the arms in front. Inhale the arms up. And see how the lift brings a lightness to the stability. So firmness but light. Reaching up. Okay, moving yourselves a little bit away from the wall. And trying to close the eyes. And then open them. And releasing. And coming down. So amazing how certain senses also affect the balance. Traditionally, balance is linked to the ears, But the moment we close the eyes, there's a wobble, there's an instability. Noticing the little details like that. And we're going to, after we do the left side, look at how we could shift the eyes to have even more stability. So left leg lifting. Opening the inner knee, left buttock down. Feel how you're standing. Draw that outer hip in and try and get a really vertical experience of the standing leg. Arms in front. Inhale the arms up. Feel how the lift is helping the stability and bringing lightness at the same time. Now if you're on the wall, move a little bit away from it, preparing to close the eyes. And then open the eyes. And bringing the arms down and releasing. Okay, getting ready to try that now with Garudasana arms. It's a beautiful experience. Lifting the right leg. Finding the verticalness of the standing leg, inner knee open, right buttock going down, and drawing the left outer hip in. Now lift the arms up, crossing the right arm over the left, finding the palms of the hands and pressing the top shoulders down as we try to lift the fingertips up to the sky. So the hands are right in the middle of the face and they're effectively blocking the eyes from hyper-focusing forward. There's a kind of diffusion. And go with that and imagine that your vision is now coming more from the right temple and the left temple. So pulling the eyes backwards and moving them to the sides. Making that experience. And then releasing and changing sides. So you want to feel that instead of seeing forward, which we're used to seeing, because the hands are blocking the face, the eyeballs are moving to the side and you're seeing from this peripheral vision. Here we go on the left hand side. Adjusting, making sure that we're verticalizing that standing leg as much as possible. Inhale the arms up, left arm across, and Garudasana arms. Now move the top shoulders down as we try to bring the fingertips up. And now noticing the eyes and drawing them both backwards and rotating them away from each other. The right eyeball to the right, the left eyeball to the left, seeing simultaneously with that peripheral vision on both sides. And exhale, and releasing. Okay, let's take that into Vrikshasana on the mat one last time, where we lift the arms, but we ignite that peripheral vision experience and see what that brings to our stability. I'm going to face this way, because for some reason Vrikshasana turned this way to the camera just always makes me wobble. It's like a big eye there. So I'm going this way so I can just really diffuse and relax that gaze. From Tadasana. Lifting the right leg. Placing the foot. Adjusting that which needs to be adjusted as best as possible. Diffuse the gaze. Inhale the arms up. Diffuse the gaze. Peripheral vision. Press down to lift up. peripheral vision. Press down to lift up, peripheral vision. And 3, and 2, and 1. Coming down. And Tadasana. Okay, making the experience on the other side. Lifting the left leg. Placing the foot. Adjusting that which needs to be adjusted as best as possible. And now finding peripheral vision. Lifting the arms. Pressing down to reach up. Peripheral vision. Restretching, peripheral vision. Diffusing the gaze, seeing out to the sides of the face. Reaching up. And 2, and 1. Coming down. And releasing. Tadasana. Well, so I'm wondering if you felt the way that I did at the moment we do that. There's a whole new sense of stability going on. And it brings to mind the kind of stability in a candle flame where the flame is oscillating, but it's rising up and there's that strong center. It's rising up very stable. And for instance, it's interesting to think of standing Tadasana with your feet hip distance apart and feel how that's very stable. More stable initially than this. So feeling that. And now go ahead and bend the knees like a half of Tadasana, a squat, and feel how grounded and stable that is. Very earthed. And then coming back up, standing with the feet together, being in Tadasana with the feet together. Pressing down, trying to distribute the weight into both feet. Roots of the thighs firm. And now feel the lift that comes when we stand with the feet together. And that liftingness adds to the stability. So it's a different type of stability. It's a stability that stays connected and earthed, but also simultaneously brings that lift, that inner lift, and an expansion of this area. So looking for a type of stability that is balanced in that way as we navigate through the uncharted waters of life. Okay, let's move into Ardha Chandrasana and let's get a chair for this next work. Okay, so we've got our chair, opening up into the right side first. So I'm doing a mirror image of you. This is your right side. Putting the chair like this. We're going to come straight into Ardha Chandrasana. So if you need a block and everything, have that on the ready on the floor for you. Come down, this top hand holds the top railing of the chair. Placing the fingertips to the floor, slightly to the side, to the right side. And then lifting the back leg. Charging that back foot, gripping the front thighs to the thigh bones, ironing them to the thigh bones. Feeling how you're standing, what's happening in that standing leg, the standing foot. Are you really on the 4 wheels of the feet? As you press down, can you feel a lift, a grip up the legs, following that? Sucking the head of that right femur bone into the hip socket. And using this hand on the chair to turn, to twist, to roll. And now, moving the fingertips on the floor, the left hand on the floor, moving them in, so that they're right in front of the standing foot. The chair is there to help us keep our balance, and with the hand moved in this way, we'll be better able to access that bottom shoulder blade and to press it forward and turn and twist from there, turning the head up to the sky. Smooth, soft inhalations and exhalations. Feeling the balance, feeling the stability of that standing leg, feeling the turningness, the lightness. And an exhale, and releasing, and coming out. Okay, moving to the left hand side. Ardha Chandrasana. Taking whatever you might need for your hands, and coming into the pose. The moment we lift the back leg, lengthen it, push out through the balls of the feet. Have presence there. The heel firm, even though it's lifted in the air. Imagine that back heel, the lifted heel, is pressing against a wall, and feel how that brings new firmness and intention to the back leg. Now feeling how you're standing on that front foot, feeling the stability of the standing leg. What could you do to make it more even, more stable? And as you press down into the foot, can you feel the grippingness of the thigh muscles coming all the way up to the very head of the femur bone, and drawing that into the hip socket with intention, with direction. Pressing down to grip up, and this hand on the chair to help us to turn, to twist. And now move this bottom hand in so that it's right in front of your standing foot. And then see how that gives us access to further turn, to find the bottom shoulder blade, to press it forward, and to use this hand on the chair to turn and roll that top front shoulder back, to penetrate the dorsal spine with the ribs underneath the shoulder blades, the head turning 2 and 3 and 2 and 1. Coming out. And letting go. Okay, using the chair in a different way now. We're going to fold the chair. Have the seat facing us. Ardha Chandrasana with the rung of the chair right here in the pose. So depending on your body height, if you're really tall, you'll have to have less of a diagonal. If you're shorter, you'll have to have more of a diagonal. So experimenting for yourself. Here we go. Standing leg, right leg, lifting the back leg, finding Ardha Chandrasana, feeling the rating of the chair right there, and going with it, not pushing it out, but drawing it in. Feel how that affects the stability of the standing leg. The bottom hand coming down, re-densifying the standing leg, observing how you're standing. What is the foot doing? Where are you feeling more? What happens if you shift? And then when you feel ready, stretching the top arm up to the sky. Now trying to move that bottom shoulder blade forward in order to turn the entire top trunk and the head. Inhaling and exhaling. And releasing, coming down. And what a beautiful experience, isn't it, of stability and lightness. Feeling how that's sweeping through our internal canvas, making space in a beautiful way, and bringing that even equanimity. Okay, coming to the other side now. So taking the time to try out the diagonal that works for you. If you were feeling a bit wobbly before, Take it in, take it out, experiment as much as possible. And let's prepare to come into the pose. Charging the back leg as we lift. Tuning into the standing leg. How are we standing? What is the foot doing? Where is our tendency going? What could be corrected, shifted? Feeling the top rating of the chair and absorbing it. Letting it guide us to better integration of how the femur bone comes into the hip socket as we grip the thigh muscle up. Bringing the hand down to the floor if you haven't already. Stabilizing again. Even and smooth breaths. Keep pushing out through the back leg, pushing out through the ball of the foot. Both inner knees tightly squeezed. And now beginning to lift that top arm up to the sky. Soft, smooth inhale, soft, smooth exhale. And now move the bottom shoulder blade forward in order to turn the entire top trunk and the head up to the sky from the bottom shoulder blade. Keep feeling the stability in that standing leg, the charge of the lifted leg, turning, and 3, and 2, and 1. Lowering down, coming out, and back up. Let's move the chair and let's come to an Adho Mukha Svanasana. Placing the hands on the mat, lining the knees up, spreading the palms of the fingers widely, the hands becoming feet as well now. And let's enter Adho Mukha Svanasana. Taking our time to really integrate the shoulder blades into the upper back. The shoulder blades becoming a point of stability. Stretching the arms and stretching the legs. Feeling what the hands are doing, feeling what the feet are doing. And looking at what the feet are doing. And trying now to bring the heels to the mat. But as we bring the heels down towards the mat, slowly but persistently, keep moving the shins back to the calves. And keep moving the front thighs back to the thigh bones, ironing them over and over again to the thigh bones as we bring the heels down. If needed, you can always move the feet a little bit forward to help with that action. Trying to press those heels down to make them dense, firm. See if you can lift the toes up. Keep lifting the toes up as much as possible, densifying the heels, ironing the front thighs to the bone. Feel the grippiness of the legs, feel the firmness. Re-stretch the arms. Keep the density of the heels and the shins moving back and the front thighs moving back as a way to bring less weight to the arms. The pose is moving back densely. And 3, and 2, and 1. Exhale, walking the feet forward, spreading the feet, the width of the mat, parallel. Taking hold of the backs of the heels and coming to Uttanasana. Observing how the feet are standing. Are you favoring one foot more than the other? Is the weight wavering? Can you lift all of your toes and have it not disturb the stability? Are the legs gripping? Are the inner knees rising up towards the groin continually as you press down? And keeping that alertness, that vibrancy, Diffuse the gaze and enjoy the peacefulness of peripheral vision and see what it brings to your experience of stability. And then looking up, fingertips to the floor. Bring the feet in towards each other to Uttanasana with the feet together. Lying them up, spreading the toes. Walking the fingertips back. Hands on blocks if needed. Dropping the head down, shoulders broad. And now begin to feel the difference in the stability when the feet are together. Try to have more and more verticalness in the legs, so there's no diagonalization, no leaning the buttocks backwards. The buttocks want to flow up to the sky. So we need to really verticalize the legs, that they come straight perpendicular down into the ground, so that we can flow the buttocks up. Keep gripping the front thighs up, gripping the inner knees all the way up to the inner groins. What happens when you lift the toes? Does it create more stability for you, less stability? What happens when you gently squeeze the outer hips in towards each other, but keep the buttocks flying up to the sky? And then keeping all of that vibrancy, engaging with it fully, but peripheral diffuse vision in the gaze. And coming back up. And release. Bring your mats to the wall now for our last standing pose of the day. Urdhva Prasarita Ekapalasan. Using the wall for the back leg and a fun little interchange from one side to the other. So connecting with Adho Mukha Svanasana, lifting the heels slightly and pressing the back of the heels to the wall, not the underneath of the heels, but the back of the heels. And create density, the heels pressing firmly, continually into the wall, over and over again, the toes lifting. Feel the weight of the pose moving back. Keep stretching the arms, experiencing that density and stability in the legs, bringing lightness to the arms, openness to the sternum plate. And now bring the feet together, recreate the density of the heels pressing back, weight moving back, buttocks flying up. And now lifting the right leg. Roll that back thigh in, squeeze the back inner knee, push into the wall with the ball of the foot. Create density and stability there. And then begin to walk the hands towards you as you move that foot up the wall, going as close as you can. Urdhva Prasarita Ekapalasan. Using that wall, try to squeeze the back inner knee straight, to roll the back thigh in, and now press the left heel down into the mat. Look at the verticalization of that standing left leg, press the foot down. Create that stability through the foot, stand. Grip the legs up. Keep pushing yourself away from the heels of the hands. And 2. And 1. Coming down. And just taking a little break in Vajrasana here. Roll the shoulders back. Relift the sternum. Relax the face from the effort. Okay, changing sides. Adho Mukha Svanasana first. Pressing the heels back continually to bring the weight of the pose back and that lightness, that openness in the armpits. Bringing the feet together, re-densifying both heels simultaneously to the wall. Feel how the shins move back with that action. Feel how the front thighs move back. Keep the heels pressed. Create that density there. Let the buttocks fly up to the sky. And now lift the left leg up, turning the toes under, the ball of the foot against the wall. Roll that lifted leg in, so the hips are facing the mat. Squeeze that back inner knee. And begin to walk now the hands towards you, towards the wall, climbing the left foot up as needed, coming to our maximum. Keep rolling that lifted leg in and squeezing the back inner knee, pushing out through the length of the foot, and now press the right heel down to the mat. Make the heel firm and dense. Lift the arch of the foot, the inner ankle of the foot. See if you can lift the toes and be fully in the foot without the toes. Grip the front thighs of the standing leg up. Don't let the front thigh muscles bulge or fall down. Grip them up, iron them to the bone. Suck the head of that femur bone into the hip socket. Press down to lift up through the leg. Feel the density coming and feel the stability that comes with that. And 3, and 2, and 1. Exhaling and releasing. And back to Vajrasana. Smooth, long, deep inhalation. Smooth, long, pacifying exhalation. Distribute your weight evenly on both feet, on both shins. The weight of the hands even, pressing down on both thighs. Bringing that diffused peripheral gaze. Feel the brain relax. And those little techniques to bring neutralization, equanimity. Let's now go to the active version of what we just did using the wall. So the holds are a little faster and we're moving from side to side, doing 2 times on each side. So starting straight from downward dog with the feet together, densifying the heels, lifting the right leg up, rolling the thigh in, Virabhadrasana, 3 back leg, moving the hands in, pressing that left heel down, coming in as close as we can, grip the thighs, press down into that standing foot, create that stability, that experience of it, and 3, and 2, and 1, and then moving the hands a little bit forward, lifting that left leg up, coming into a supported handstand here, and then lowering the right leg down. Walking the hands back, densifying the right heel to the floor, gripping the roots of the thighs, firmness, and 3, and 2, and 1. Walking the hands a little bit forward, so adding in balancing of the arms here and lifting that right leg. Press down to lift up. Turn the inner elbows forward, shoulders broad, and then lowering the left leg down. Preparing and walking the hands back in. Last time on each side. Try to squeeze the inner knees, try to press that left foot down. Densify the roots of the thighs, and 3, and 2, and 1. Hands walking forward and lifting the left leg. Stability. Finding the shoulder blades, pressing them in, bringing that firmness. And 2, and 1. Lowering that right leg. Preparing. Last one. Walking the hands back in. Squeeze the inner knees tightly, press the right foot down, grip the legs, and 1. Exhale, and releasing. And coming down. Deep inhalation, deep exhalation. Coming forward to Yoga Mudra, widening the knees apart just a little bit, holding the ribs and helping them to lift up and to broaden as we come forward. Turning the arms all the way open, so that the palms are facing the sky, and gently lowering the head down. Move the right shoulder to the right, the left shoulder to the left. Try to spiral the upper arms more and more away from each other. Trying to firm the elbows and turn so that the inner elbows are facing the sky completely. And in the hands, the energy of the little fingers are moving towards the thumbs with that spiral. And then unroll the arms, the hands, and gently coming up. So it's now time for Shirshasana. So getting whatever you need. You can use a wall if preferred. If it's your cycle, you should take Viparita Dandasana on the chair back bend. And let's meet back on the mat. Okay, ready for Shirshasana in whatever variation you're doing it. And in Shirshasana, obviously, our stability points are completely turned upside down. So an even more interesting place in which to watch how to look for more stability. What kind of stability is it? What can we do to extend stability in both directions? And what can we do with the senses in Shirshasana, and how does that affect our experience of stability? So let's enter. Pressing the forearms down, lifting the trapezius muscles up. And from that firm and stable base, lifting the legs up and finding Shirshasana. Checking the position of the forearms and the elbows. If the elbows are too wide, it actually creates instability. Too narrow also, there's that just point. And the point is when the elbows are in line with the shoulders. If you're going wider than that, then you're going to close the shoulders up. And then pressing the forearm down. And it's harder to reach the outer wrist than it is to reach the kind of elbow pressingness. So extending your intention to the outer wrist, pressing down, so that the forearm, which has become the foot, so to speak, the right forearm, the left forearm, has that same attention to even distribution of weight. And now, without losing the density that we're experiencing, the stability we're starting to get from learning to press the forearms down evenly. Check in with your fingers. Are you gripping the roots of the fingers? Try to keep the roots of the fingers ungripped. The forearms pressing down firm. And the shoulder blades lifting up. Soft, smooth inhales and soft, smooth exhales. Keep charging the legs and densifying the heels. The legs become like the arms in Vrikshasana. As they lift up and penetrate upwards towards the ceiling, towards the sky, they help us to find and access
that strong anti-gravitational force that comes from this kind of stability. And what about the eyes? Are they bulging forward, pushing forward with effort? Can we draw them backwards and peripheralize our vision? What happens when we do that? Check that the shoulder blades are being pressed forward and up, that they also are integrated into our experience of stability. Do they waver, or can you keep the pressing in of them even? And then slowly beginning to come down into Yoga Mudrasana Vajrasana. And rising back up. And we're now going to come back to the chair. So we need a blanket and a chair for Malasana. So taking a folded blanket and placing it here for the heels. And coming to crouch on the chair. Feet together, Tadasana feet, with the heels pressing on the blanket. Soft, smooth inhale, soft, smooth exhale. And now, widening the knees apart and bringing our hands inside. Now here at this point we'll feel, oh, I need some more stability from my heels, so you can bring the blanket in or just adjust and then come back here. Soft, smooth inhale, soft, smooth exhale. Keep pressing the heels down firmly. Feeling the balls of the feet as we walk the hands closer and closer to the ground. Soft, smooth inhales and soft, smooth exhales. Feel the roundness of the back. And try to follow that action with the neck and the head so that you get a Jalandhara Bandha action in the ears. The ears are turning inwards towards the temples. The back of the neck becomes long. Press down into those heels. Deepening the front groins. Soft, smooth inhalations and soft, smooth exhalations. And then slowly, gently re-emerging from that experience. A light Pashasana right where we are. Just bringing the inner knees back towards each other. Turning to the right first, using the railing. Peripheral vision.
smooth inhales and soft, smooth exhales. Densify both heels. And then changing sides. Vrasana on the chair to the left hand side. Exhaling across. Connecting with the feet, with the heels. That stability, even as we twist. And exhale. And coming out completely. Sitting on the chair. The right knee bent. The heel on the blanket. Right on the edge of the chair as much as possible. The left leg extended, the heel down. Inhaling the arms up and exhaling forward inside the knee and then hands to the chair. A Madhyasana 1 type action. Pressing that left heel down. Pressing the right heel down, drawing the hands further and further towards the earth. And 2. And 1. Coming up, dynamic on the thighs, and changing sides. In order to keep that foot pressing down, there's more strength than we think is required. Inhaling the arms up. Exhaling. Inside the knee. Taking hold of the chair. Keep pressing the right heel down. Squeezing the right inner knee straight. Pressing the left heel down. See what that brings to the action. Walking the hands closer and closer. Breathing. And 2. And 1. Coming back up. And releasing. Moving our chairs to the side for now. And taking the blankets. Let's combine those two actions here. In Malasana with the Madhyasana 1 application of just one arm around the inner knee. So feet lined up, heels pressing down. Widen the knees apart. Starting with the right side. Really reaching forward, using the left hand to help you so you can connect the outer armpit all the way to the shin, like a puzzle fitting in place. Wide that arm around behind. And now this arm comes, without going around the front of the shin, just comes around the back of us. And finding the hands and exhaling down. Soft, smooth inhales and soft, smooth exhales. Densify the heels. Peripheral vision. Deepening those groins. And then coming back up and changing sides, widening the knees. Entry into Malasana. And then bringing this left armpit, fitting it in, winding the arm around, And this right arm comes behind without going in front of the shin, holding hands and exhaling forward. Stabilize through the feet, observing, pressing the heels down. Soft, smooth inhales and soft, smooth exhalations. Adding in now peripheral vision, seeing what that adds to your experience of stability here. And coming back out. Knees together, crouching pose. The legs will be feeling it. Press both heels down. And then fingertips to the floor and just opening the knees, finding Baddha Konasana. And leaning to the left so that we can gently work the right opening a little bit more. The hand is pressing down and rolling it open. And moving to the other side, so the right elbow is here. And the left hand is pressing down and rolling to the left. Coming up to the center and forward, Yoga Mudrasa. Soft, smooth inhalations and soft, smooth exhalations. Moving hands back, sitting back up. And it's now time for Sarvangasana with the chair. So let's go ahead and get all that equipment and meet back on the mat. Alright, so here we are. I have a bolster. I have 2 blankets and a sticky thing because otherwise the blankets will slip. Now, it is best to do this pose free of the mat on the ground so that you can easily slide off when we come out. I can't because this is not a proper yoga chair. Someone made it for me and it's slippy on the bottom, which I like in some poses, but in Sarvangasana it gets a little messy, so I keep the mat underneath my chair Sarvangasana. Okay, coming in. By the way, if you're on your cycle, doing a Situ Bandha Sarvangasana, block under the tailbone, feet to the wall. Getting the arms through, rolling the front shoulders back. And when we feel ready, bringing the feet to the railings. And seeing if your hips are positioned in the right place for you. Mine feel that they need to come closer to the edge. So I'm moving them out. Checking the back of the neck, the sides of the neck, the back of the skull. As we roll the front shoulders back, press the arms down, creating the density and the stability from that pressing downwards. You feel the railing of the chair.
and the hands holding the back legs of the chair. And then lifting the legs up, Savakasa. Soft, smooth inhalation and soft, pacifying exhalation. Don't let the word pacify encourage the body to get passive. The abdomen pacifying, but everything else moving in specific, intentional areas and directions. So the legs are charging up. Squeezing the inner knees to the outer knees to the inner knees, the front knees to the back knees to the front knees. Feeling that new stability just there in the joint from those actions. Soft, smooth inhale, soft, smooth exhale. As we charge the legs up, gently squeeze the outer hips towards each other and re-lengthen the legs out through the balls of the foot. Feel that new layer of stability. As much as the legs get firm and the hips get firm, keep encouraging the abdomen, the belly button, the organs to melt towards the lower back, to melt towards the chair, to create a pool of softness in the abdominal cavity. And with the face upside down like this, using gravity to help us really mean what it means to allow the eyes to move backwards and out to their respective sides. Keep experiencing that, noticing that one eye move more easily into that than the other. What is the resistance? And the same for the cheeks, so that the skin of the face is completely melting towards the ground, resistance-free. So the right cheek is gently trickling towards the right side of the face, the right ear, the right temple, and into the hairline. And the same is happening to the left. Keep rolling the front shoulders back, connecting with the arms as our point at which we press down to earth energy, stability, and then rising up to get that unique lift. Soft, smooth inhalations and soft, pacifying exhalations. And now bending the knees, placing the feet back on the railing, and opening the knees apart from each other, Baddha. Now keep the soles of the feet pressed against each other. We're going to experience creating stability in the opening, the extreme groin opening, through the soles of the feet pressing against each other. They each become each other's earth, so to speak. So at first we may notice that one foot takes over more. And we can feel really so much for the soles of our feet. So keep looking for that even pressing firmness, where the feet are working together to create more firmness, more stability that travels up the legs, and we begin to feel that squeezing in action of the flesh that lines the outside edge of the right and left femur bones, the outer thighs. Keep pressing the feet together and grip the outer heads of the femur bones in. Squeeze the outer hips towards each other, grip the outer thighs of the femur bones in, press the feet together. Keep feeling the ignition of the outer hips, the ignition of the outer thighs, squeezing in and up, containing through that unique type of stability the openness of the groin. Soft, smooth inhalations and soft, pacifying exhalations. Keep pressing the feet together, feeling, exploring. And now we're going to lift the legs back up. Deep, long inhalation, deep, long exhalation. And we're preparing to come to halasana. So if you're feeling a little fragile, you may want to do one leg at a time so that you build up your confidence, otherwise just coming down as you're used to. And then with your hands in the chair, pull the edge of the chair and move your back to the edge of the chair so that they're connected. And the edge of the chair is reminding the back ribs to press in, to not do the C shape of Malasana, to try to find length. And then stretching the arms straight and hold on to the legs of the chair, where you get the most extension. Soft, smooth inhalation and soft, smooth exhalation. Checking where the stability of the pose is coming from. So definitely not from the head. If you're pressing a lot with the head, you want to immediately soften the throat to take the pressure off and come back to the shoulders, the upper arms. Rolling those front shoulders back. Feel them densifying into the bolster of the blankets. And lift up from that. Lifting the back body upwards so that the back body is moving from the top of the back, underneath the neck, towards the buttocks. Up to the sky. Re-soften the front of the throat and peripheralize the vision and see how that immediately softens the front throat and relaxes the shoulders. Go with that softness and roll the front shoulders back even more. Press the upper arms down and lift upwards from there, so that you feel the top back moving towards the bottom back, going towards the sky, getting that lift. Keeping the breath cycle smooth and regular. The front thighs, even here, moving to the thigh bones. The feet pushing. Giving another layer of stability. Every now and then, travel again to the base of the pose, the shoulders. Have they unconsciously started to creep up or try to find a way to lessen their role. Keep accessing their power, pressing them down to create that stability and that lift. And when you feel the effort creeping up into the face, peripheralize immediately the eyes. And then bending the knees, and we're going to come back up in order to slide backwards until our hips are on the bolster and our legs are on the chair. So I particularly love that final little adjustment that peripheralizing the eyes adds to a particular state of mind. Right when we feel the effort of whatever it is we're doing coming into that facial region where the senses start to harden and turn outwards, and we also simultaneously begin to lose that inward connection and penetration we've been making, adding in that opening of the eyes, moving backwards and out to the side, gaining this peripheral vision, immediately relaxes the front brain, allows it to move back. We enter a meditative state. So stability, but not a kind of rock solid, I will not change my mind, I cannot change my mind stability. Something that isn't so forward and contracted, a stability that comes from inner spaciousness and connection. Okay, it's now time for Shavasana. And we're going to do a fantastic Shavasana lying down on a chair. And it's a beautiful way of taking Shavasana whilst keeping the openings that Sarvangasana has brought to us, that space. So let's come out and put whatever we need to put away. You'll need 2 blankets and 1 chair. Here we are, the chair is folded and lying on the mat like this, with the seat facing up. Your head is going to go towards that direction. So 1 blanket right here, covering up these metal bits, and then I like to use a 2nd blanket here for my neck and my head. And you can adjust this as you come down as needed. Then we come and we sit. And where we sit, again, is a little bit dependent on the length of your torso, the length of your body, so I encourage you to explore. Start off right here. Don't worry, it doesn't hurt once you're lying down. Come lie down. Adjust the blanket. Stretch the legs straight, see what that feels like. Now I'm going to move my back a little bit so my heels are on the mat. There we go. And that just feels perfect for me. Now, first thing we need to want to do is we want to move our hips, our iliacs, towards the heels, and the legs will become a little bit longer, and roll those legs open. The lower back should be descending towards the chair, towards the ground. And then rolling each shoulder back, and feeling how the chair is really supporting that action. It encourages the arms to really fall away from the shoulders. And it lifts the back body gently up, just in a supportive way. So as we rest in our Shavasana, we're going to be resting in this beautiful state of mind. And when we feel ready, allowing the eyelids to close. The entire front face receding towards the earth and entering Shavasana.
And now gently, without strain, just starting to take some slightly longer inhalations. Increasing the length of the inhalations. Just to start gently lifting out of Shavasana. And then rolling over to the right hand side. And pushing ourselves back up. And welcome back. Our practice is complete. And so, really hoping that you enjoyed working with this theme in various poses, so that poses can become tools that tell us about how we're doing on different days, and then help activate and reignite the mental and physical topography needed to bring stability. Even in great times of change and inconsistency, there's ways to harness energies to create a stability that is connected and yet light. And with that, an even mind. Let me know how the experience was for you. Always love to hear from you. Namaste. Take care.